New warning suggesting a potential link between teen vaping and e-cigarette use to severe lung disease. In the last month, there have been at least 22 cases of severe lung damage reported in teenagers in 3 states, including Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Illinois. Doctors say vaping could be to blame.
CBS News correspondent Anna Werner joins us now to talk more about this. So, Anna, this is a warning specifically for teenagers.
Well, teenagers, young adults, possibly even some adults, although we really don't know about that yet. But what they do know is that they have had these cases. For example, Children's Minnesota is the latest to report that in the last few weeks they've had 4 cases, boys and girls ages 16 to 18, who have come in, and doctors have, perhaps initially thought that they had a more typical viral infection or a bacterial infection, something that affects the lungs that you can treat with antibiotics, and then come to find out that that doesn't work and they're progressing into lung failure. Some of these kids have actually had to have been put on a ventilator, which, as you know, is very serious. That means that you need support for lung function. What they're seeing is inflammation in these teenagers' lungs. They have not been able to track a specific agent in vaping products or a particular brand of e-cigarette or an oil. We know that in some of these cases, for example, kids have said that they have used marijuana or THC in a vape. We know that this is something that people, including teenagers, are doing. What we do know, though, is that what the Minnesota officials want to get out there is that, look, for doctors and parents and even patients themselves, if they are being treated for what is a presumed pneumonia, but they vape, they need to be very sure to tell the doctors that they are vaping so that doctors can consider this new thing that is happening where vapors are for some reason coming down with what is in some cases an acute injury to the lung.
How dangerous is vaping? What are doctors and scientists saying about vaping?
So vaping has been considered to be safer than cigarettes in the sense that you're not breathing in that smoke that has so many toxins in it. That has sort of been the idea, that it is safer than smoking. However, there aren't a lot of long-term and even short-term studies to know what some of the other issues could be with vaping. It's a product that, it's so popular now, but it's very new when you compare it to cigarettes. For example, one of the experts we spoke to this week said, we know a lot about cigarettes. We know a lot about the harm of cigarettes. They've been studied a lot for decades. We don't have that information for vaping. We don't know that information for vaping. So I think that a lot of people who are vaping may believe that there's more scientific evidence about the safety profile of vaping than there actually is. Now, the vaping associations will tell you, of course, and they did in a statement to us, that there are millions of people who vape, that these are relatively small numbers. They believe that the people who had problems were probably vaping adulterated products, either swapping out, using an oil. You can see they say here that it appears to them more likely that these products causing lung damage contain THC or illegal drugs and not nicotine. And we do know, for example, in the Minnesota cases, that the State Department of Health has said that some of them involved nicotine, some of them involved marijuana. But they really have not lined out the common factor, not just in Minnesota, but also in Wisconsin and Illinois. But I think what doctors are trying to say right now to other doctors and to people generally is, listen, first of all, teenagers, a lot of times, they don't want to admit to a doctor that they vape because if they're 16, their parents don't want them to vape. They're going to get in trouble. And I think as general thing, doctors and parents have to be like, look, it's okay. Just tell us. We just need to get you better.
Makes sense. Anna Werner, thank you very much.
Thanks, Anna.